everybody. I'm Heather Lockett, and this is Lasting Conversations. Will Hale is coming to us from Minnesota. Hi, Will.
Hi, Heather.
How are you doing? Is it chilly out there?
No, it's beautiful. It's like almost 35 today.
Oh, that's great. We're at 85 today. So I know it's all relative because you've probably had some negative 35 this winter. So thank you so much for coming via Zoom. I really appreciate it. And Will is a musician and an experience generator and an all-around fabulous dude. Heartfulharmony.com is his website, and also Tadpole Parade. So start with the tadpoles, because I just love that you sing to children.
Yeah, actually, people ask me that a lot. Like, how did you get into playing music for kids? And originally, well, I was in the jewelry business for a long time. I'm a graduate gemologist, and that was kind of my previous life. But anyway, I wanted to do music, and it only took a few times of playing to drunk people in smoky bars till 2 a.m. to realize that was what I had in mind as far as my music career was. And I realized at the time I really liked hanging out with my kids' friends, or my friends' kids. Did I say that right? Yeah, my friends' kids. And so I thought, well, what if I combined like music and kids? So I went and volunteered at school. And it was just history from then on. It was just so cool. It was so fun. And it's like, that's what I've done full time. I hardly ever play for adults. I just play for kids. It's great.
That's fantastic. So when my kids were growing up, we had a gentleman named Mr. Al, and he was almost like the local kids celebrity. And even to this day,
everybody missed something. I'm glad I'm not Mr. Will.
You're not Mr. Will.
No.
Yeah, he was really fantastic with the kids. And I imagine, and so he did the same thing in terms of getting them moving and getting them dancing. And his songs were always from the heart and always kind of silly and engaging. And it was fun for us parents, so that you kind of said, my kids of my friends or friends of my kids makes complete sense, because really you're singing to the adults too, and that they can then sing along to their own children. He was definitely their rock star. First big concerts, and I imagine that you are the Mr. Al of Minnesota, but you are Will Hale,
yeah.
Tadpole Parade,
Tadpole Parade
extraordinaire. Tell us some of
A lot of people, they say kids have a short attention span. That's not true.
No, not at all.
Most people have a short attention keeping span, because I've had like toddlers go for like an hour and they would have kept going if I would have kept going.
Yep.
So, it's not that at all. Kids are really engaged. If you say, hey, you want to have fun? Yeah, they're on board.
They're totally on board. So what kind of music are you doing? And is that, how does that then combine with the Heartful Harmonies?
Yeah, it's actually all very interrelated, because I do a lot of the Heartful Harmony things in my shows. It's just sort of woven in subliminally.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't explain to kids, oh, we're going to feel our heartbeat, we're going to breathe, we're going to do actually, that's the first thing I do in a concert, is I get everybody to breathe together. So, there's a lot of things like that I weave in. What's nice about the Heartful Harmony work that I've been doing is distilling it down in really practical, simple ways that people can do it. And
and what are those? You have some very succinct and simple and beautiful steps for people to come into their heart and their harmony. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, that's maybe partly from working with kids. And the other thing, when I do shows, it's like a lot of times this is my only chance to be with these kids. I got to connect with them in 30, 45 minutes, and that's all they're going to get. So, I can't teach these long, elaborate things. It's got to be something they can learn really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I tend to do the same thing with adults, like things that are quick and easy. Sometimes it's like super simple, like people don't realize how simple it is, but they, I don't know. I have this idea that a lot of people sometimes seem to think that really complicated problems need complicated solutions. And I don't believe that. I think something as simple as feeling your heartbeat, being aware of your breath, and just relaxing and settling into calm is like really powerful. And that's a good foundation to come from. That's what I call a harmony refresh. I call that little process of feeling your heartbeat, being aware of your breath, and then just settling and relaxing into a state of calm. So those three things, actually what it does, it syncs up all of your, your brain, your heart, your breath, all sync together. And you don't have to understand how it works, right? When you turn on a light switch, you don't have to know everything about electricity and how it all works. You just turn on the light switch. So it's kind of like that. It's something that just definitely works really simple.
That's so true. And it's so beautiful. So do you run groups or have individual coaching, or when you're working with adults, is that what the Heartful Harmonies is? Do you have certain programs or something?
Yeah, I've been doing some introductory things. That the Harmony Refresh is kind of what the foundation, the basic things that I try to teach people. And it's interesting because there's a lot of people. Everybody talks about breath, but there aren't very many people that talk about your heart. I'm talking like physical heartbeat, just being aware of the physical heartbeat, the same way you watch your breath or do things with your breath. So I've focused a lot on that. And I've been doing a heart rhythm type meditation for decades. That's kind of one of my things. And one of my ideas with the whole Heartful Harmony is how can I distill that down? What took me 20 years to learn it, somebody can learn it in a year or a month or whatever, It's very experiential. And it's funny because I've even had friends that have shared it with other people, and people that say were like meditation teachers. And they tried adding, because a lot of people already have a meditation practice. It's like, well, what happens if you add your awareness of your heartbeat to what they're doing? And I had some friends that had meditation teacher friends who said, wow, it's the best meditation I've ever had, like in 20 years. Anyway,
that's great. That's great. Visually, I know most people are listening right now, but we're on Zoom. And so the visual of you in the back is this outstanding backdrop. I know you just went boom. Where did you get it? Did you create it? It feels like a mandala. It feels like its own harmony, some light language. What is this? Well, and the colors are deep and luscious.
I'm not sure what the symbology is. The truth is I got it as a birthday present. I was walking through a mall with a friend a few years ago, and I go, that's really cool. And we got it for my birthday. And what's nice is it takes up like the whole wall. It's like 8 or 9 feet long. So it's like kind of like painting the wall with awesomeness.
It is painting the wall with awesomeness. But is it fabric or is it a
it's
a different?
It's kind of like a batik. But,
okay.
I always thought it was kind of busy. It's kind of got a lot of patterns and stuff, but people really like it, so I just keep using it.
True. And you're in a new home, or do you have your own studio, or do you have a home studio that people
it's a
come?
Home studio,
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Of course, during the last 2 years, I did a lot of stuff on Zoom, and I had things really tweaked so I could do concerts and other stuff on Zoom. And so I'm glad I have all that equipment now.
That's right. You were still quite prolific during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Now, have you been excited to get back out into the world and do your parades and do your concerts in person? Of course, the summer, you have a lot of fun things out in Minnesota that, farmers markets and things. Where are you? Do you have things booked already coming up this spring, as a matter of fact?
Oh yeah. Last summer I had concerts pretty much every day.
You did. You were a busy guy.
Like literally every day. It was great. Yeah. And with real people and close, in person. It was great. We did a lot of outdoor shows too, just because it helped keep the space a little bit. Another upgrade that I did is I've got a couple of portable sound systems now too, that are like all battery powered. I can go out in the middle of a field and just set up, which was really cool. So we did that with a few parks and stuff where we could. What's nice about that is instead of having to be close to a building or something with cement, we can be out under a tree in the shade somewhere, which is really cool.
That's what I just love. And from your Facebook posts, that's what I've noticed is when you're out more in the nature areas, that's always such a good community, a good commune with the nature and the kids and the music and the harmony. It's just lovely.
Right.
Yeah. So another thing that you have been involved with, which kind of surprised me since the time I've known you, I didn't realize that you have agates and you can cut crystals and rocks, and that Minnesota has its own version of all kinds of really cool things. You want to tell us more about the rocks and what is it that you find when you do your gem shows, but you really know how to create. You're a beautiful creator. You create music, you create love, and you do magical things with these stones.
Well, I grew up around stones since I could crawl. I had rocks in my mouth, and that was pretty much. Our family went on vacations to collect rocks and gemstones. That was what we did for family vacations.
Uh-huh.
I cut and polished my first stone when I was like 10 years old. And we had a full-time rock and gem shop for many years. And I was a graduate gemologist when I was 18. And so I had a lot of background with it. And you're right, Minnesota has some amazing gemstones that people don't know about that are super rare. Like Thompsonite comes from the North Shore up on Lake Superior. There's about a 10-mile stretch on Lake Superior where that's like the only place in the world that really good gem grade comes from. Kind of pink with little eyes in it. And then one of my favorites is Binghamite and silkstone. I challenge people to Google silkstone. How many things can you Google and not find anything about it?
Wow.
That's how rare it is. Even people in Minnesota don't hardly know about it, but it's beautiful. It's kind of like tiger eye. It's very shimmery and really does the light. You'd have to really see it to get the whole effect of it. But Binghamite and silkstone are really cool stones from Minnesota you don't hear. And then we have some agates, which are the Lake Superior agates, which are the Minnesota State gemstones. So yeah, very rich.
So do they have special properties to them? I mean, many of the stones have kind of some energetic properties. Or there's something very grounding. Is there, do you know much about what those stones carry?
Yeah, it kind of depends. I'm more intuitive about that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Binghamite and silkstone comes from the Iron Range up in sort of north central Minnesota. So it's got a lot of iron in it. It's got a lot of hematite and quartz, and that's pretty grounding kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they have different properties. The Thompsonite's a little bit softer, but it's a mixture too. It's because you asked me how complicated you want me to get it. It's kind of like petrified wood. If you think of petrified wood, you look at petrified wood, it looks like a piece of wood, right?
Okay.
But it's actually quartz that replaces the wood structure.
Wow.
So it's quartz. So the same thing happens with like the Binghamite and silkstone. Now, silkstone is actually asbestos, which is a very fibrous mineral, which is the same as tiger eye has that fibrous kind of thing. So it replaces that. So just imagine all this swirly kind of curvy asbestos fibers that get replaced by quartz. And then it's got all the iron in it, which makes it red and yellow and green and blue and all these beautiful colors. So it's really a one-of-a-kind kind of gem. I'll polish one for you.
Sure.
You got to come over here and get it, though.
I know. I've got to get to Minnesota. I really do. I've been to many, many states here in the U.S. There. Yeah, you come to Florida. That would be a lot of fun, too. So, Will, you have a guitar in back of you. Would you like to sing us a song?
Sure.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
I want to sing a song for little Heather.
He said that because I posted a photo of myself when I was about 8 or 9 years old. So he said, this is for her.
Yeah, this is perfect. And actually, this is, I don't know, I'll just say it's kind of what I consider sort of an orphan song because there's a difference in music too about songs for kids versus songs about kids. So this is really more of a song about kids. So I generally don't do it with kids that much, but the parents really like it.
Okay.
And every time I play it live, and I'm not really exaggerating, but people cry every time I play it. Tears of joy, of course.
And
anyway.
And this is one of your songs you've created?
Yeah. So I invite people to allow your emotions to flow. If you feel emotions, it's totally okay. Parents seem to like it. I've been trying to get this recorded by some different people because I'd really like this song to get big. So I feel like it's a hit. If it sparks emotion every time I play it,
That's a hit.
It needs a life. So thank you for letting me give this song.
Thank you.
I'll play it all the way through.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I say that to kids a lot. What kid? You just say, "Are you ready?"
All right. You
Okay.
ready?
Here we go. Get them to pay attention. Anyway, you could do that as a podcast host.
Uh-huh.
Ready?
Okay, everybody. Are you ready?
1, 2, here we go. Ruby red slippers, hair filled with glitter, tiny round sequins on the sides of her jeans. A bright morning sunbeam shines through our window, our sweet angels dancing a waltz with the sun. 6 birthday candles prepared for a wish, pink frosting is no one's surprise. Every day is a gift when I see myself smile in the mirror of my little girl's eyes. She shines, she sparkles with light. Our love is the reason I know I'm alive. She shines without even trying. She is the light in my life. And all of her friends gather around her. Her diamond tiara is a beautiful sight. Our sweet angel singing her own happy birthday, a moment of perfect joy and delight. It feels like I've been, and now it's her bedtime. The glitter is washed from her hair. Our good night hug ends when I finally let go. But she knows I'll always be there. She shines, she sparkles with light. Our love is the reason I know I'm alive. She shines without even trying. She is the light in my life. Trouble and heartache will get in her way, but her fire will never blow out. Why should I worry? She'll be alright. 'Cause she has her own inner light. She shines, she sparkles with light. Our love is the reason I know I'm alive. She shines without even trying. She is the light in my life. She is the light in my life. She is the light in all life. And ruby red slippers, hair filled with glitter. There you go, my friend. Love you.
I love you too. Oh, Will, you got me. I'll be bawling harder at home. Thank you very much. But that just is delicious. Thank you.
There is a rare demo version of that on my website at willhale.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go to my music page.
Cool. Oh, it's a beautiful waltz. It's a lullaby. It's a love song. It is just, thank you. That is clearly straight from your heart and is part of the harmonics of the universe. Maybe that's why it's universally so touching. It's another
reason I know it's a good song.
Yeah.
Is I sing it and I want to sing it again.
Yeah.
And it feels good to sing that.
It's a very catchy tune. It's a very, very catchy tune. Thank you. I
have another version too with the whole band kind of production thing.
Oh, yeah.
I need to re-record the
Man,
lyrics.
If you add some violins, then we're toast.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Then we are toast. Wow. So what kind of repertoire? Do you have other ballads like that, or you've got some dancey things, or a very nice mix? I'm sure
it's
that.
Very participative. That when you just listen to my music, like the CD and that, you don't realize that there's interaction or games or something that go with all of them. Actually, one of the really rocking songs is one of the favorite toddler songs when I do it acoustic.
Uh-huh.
But I always prided myself. I was kind of ahead of the curve on that too, of doing really fun, upbeat music. Just because it's G-rated doesn't mean it has to be goofy and cheesy, you know?
Right.
So it's very musical. I have an awesome band, awesome production. It's really, so it's not like, oh, kids, it's not like that at all. I invite people to go take a listen to it because I've had parents and teachers say, oh yeah, I listen to it in the car when the kids aren't around. It's great.
But again, that's just perfect because the kid in all of us, really. And good music is good music. Right. That's the universal thing. Good music is good music.
Well, that was my original slogan, was music you never have to outgrow.
Ooh, I got some goosebumps on that one.
A lot. And kids still kind of do that with me. They think, they think they've outgrown it, but then they get kind of retro about Will Hale. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a senior in high school, but I still think he's kind of cool.
That's really super cool. But you figure, look at the Rolling Stones and everybody. We're all aging, and yet, of course, it's retro, but it's still so prevalent and personal and perfect, no matter what age.
Right. Definitely.
Right. So you are a beautiful rock star. Thank you, Will. So what else do you have on your horizon, and what is it that is, I think you've already touched on many of your passions, but is there something moving that you're seeing for 23 in this very kind of expansive year that we're in? Is there something else that you are wanting to blossom?
Yeah, actually, I have a lot of projects. That's one of my things. I kind of bounce around to different things. I'm multi-passionate.
I love it. There's multifaceted. There's wearer of many hats, but multi-passionate. That's great.
I also like the term, you might like this, Heather.
Yeah.
It's like being a full spectrum human.
Yes.
Because that's kind of like kids are like that. All the emotions are okay, all of everything. So it's kind of like being that natural full spectrum human being. But one of the projects that's
bright shiny rays, like what's in back of you, you're just boom, bright and shiny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the thing that is kind of behind the scenes, but is on the verge of starting to get more out of the closet, is I've written like thousands of pages. I have over 3,000 pages.
Oh, you had mentioned something about this. You have a literal library ready to pop.
Yeah, it's like it. So it started as kind of a writing exercise, and it's based on observation. I don't do like creative writing, like, oh, I'm going to write about butterflies today. It's based on some observation of something that happened, and then I'll write like one page, literally like one page. So I've written 2,000 pages that are really like individual pages. I mean, if I go 4, 5, 6 pages, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I did it all in handwritten notebooks. So this is like over 20 years of writing thousands of pages. And I've got almost all of it typed now from like 2010 to right now. It's like 99.5% typed.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that. And then eventually, once it's all typed, I can start putting together compilations and stuff about it with different themes. And some of that's on my website too. If you go to willhale.com, WILLHALE.com, there's a tab called More Fun, and all that stuff is there, the Heartful Harmony. And there's a link. I used to write a blog for Soul Spring.
Mm-hmm.
Soul Spring was the first place I had published any of my writing. You know, it's basically all like the first time anywhere galactic preview.
Yes.
But it tends to be very mystical, and I really like even just a page, but even better is like a sentence
Mm-hmm.
or a few words. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
love a really good quote. You know,
Just something very simple.
You don't understand it well enough. Einstein quote. Anyway, yeah, stuff like that. So.
Oh, that is just so joyous. And I look forward to seeing how that unfolds for you, because, I mean, to have 20,000 pages of a work, really a work of art and a labor of love, and not even a labor of love, but just your love pouring out on these pages is about to unleash to the world. And I'm really, really excited about that.
Right. Well, and I'm kind of been excited on the blog on Soul Spring and on the website. I kind of explain how I do it in my writing process. I think it's kind of a cool process too, to be able to do it, because it really gets rid of the inner critic, and it just flows through. I mean, it takes me 5-10 minutes to write it. Page.
So is there a methodology? Do you want to describe it real quick? And if not, that's okay.
No, we can tell. It was really rooted on two things. And I think have you done things with the Artist's Way?
Yes. Julia Cameron's.
So I did the Artist's Way.
Yeah.
And I did a class with that. And I started doing the morning pages where you just write like 3 pages every day. I did that for like 2 years every day. I wrote I had notebooks full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a really great practice to really allow things to flow through without editing, and to just, be in touch with whatever comes up. The second thing that combined with that was it was basically a prosperity class. And they had this thing of like, okay, observe something that happens during the day, and what you learn from it. And basically you write like a little fortune cookie of what you learned from that experience. And then you put it in this can. And then at the end of the class, whatever, 6 weeks later, you're supposed to start taking them out one at a time. But see, I'm kind of, I don't know what the right word is. It's not redundant, but when I do things, I did that again for like a year or two. I kept doing that every day. I put something in the can, and eventually, that's kind of how it turned into the page thing. So I'd write like one page. And originally, truthfully, it started as a way of trying to write snapshots of an idea just for songwriting. And I found out I didn't write a lot of songs, but I have thousands of pages written. So yeah, so they're like quick little snapshots of ideas, which is really fun, and I really like it. And hopefully, out of 3,000 pages, I can find a few hundred that people really like.
Thank you for sharing all of that and the process. And Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, really is very pivotal and very helpful for thousands or probably millions of people at this point. But I love how you're just saying the snapshot, where I call that, for me, it's note to self. And I'll take out my phone or grab a piece of paper and just kind of brain fart all over and just have it come out however it's meant to come out. And that is fun. And it's really a very cool way of expressing ourselves and trying to remember something. So note to self, remember this maybe 5 years from now. Oh yeah, look at, it's
kind of like another title, a working title that I've kind of had and used is Letters to Myself.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's like I'll read something like from 10 years ago and go, wow, I knew that then.
Yeah, well, because really it's timeless. So, or maybe these are messages that we drop.
No new truth.
That we drop in.
Yeah, I mean,
for our future self that needs to read it like a time capsule, right? We'll just have a look.
like, oh, look, I discovered air. There's this air in the room. It's so cool. It's like, I think that's what I've always been drawn to, kind of on the mystical side, is people and experiences of direct experience, so it's coming from a direct experience.
Right.
And that's what makes it really interesting, magical.
It is magical. And our time here has been completely magical. And we will probably revisit. You'll have to do this in person. So either I'll be coming to Minnesota or you're going to come down here to Florida, and we'll share some more music together. That would be just grand. I would look forward to that.
We could do one of the kid things. You know what I love with kids?
Yeah.
You give kids a choice, like this piece of candy or that piece of candy. There's another third option. Both. Yeah, we could do both. We could even meet halfway.
Right.
Yeah, we could do all of that. Yeah.
Yep.
We could do all kinds of cool stuff.
We could.
Anyway, this was a good start. Thank you so much for inviting me to be on. And
thank you, Will. Thank you, Will. And actually,
it was a nice conversation.
It is a fun conversation, and actually, the studio here, the Pod Populi group, they love having kids come in to do their own podcast. As a matter of fact, recognizing that kids have their own voice. So that would be, if we got together and then had some kids in the studio, that would be a grand old time.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I think I mentioned I used to do a weekly kids radio show.
Oh, right. To say that. We chatted about that before we came on.
I did a weekly kids radio show for about 6 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was great because we had the kids were like the DJs, and they would introduce stuff and they'd bring in the songs, and it was really fun.
Yet you were ahead of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just...
Sometimes it's not easy. The second person that makes sliced bread actually does better than the first person.
You got me again. Because this is so true. I think there's a little bit of an inside joke that, I got here a little too early in this lifetime. And so, to be the information bearer a little ahead of the curve.
Right. So I haven't been a podcaster, but I know a bit about production. And that was actually one of the challenges. And I'm glad to see you working on this and having a crew to help you.
Yes. Because
I found that I was doing so much production work that we didn't have enough time and energy to promote the show as much as we needed to. Because when you're doing a weekly show, it actually takes a lot of...
It's the after time. And same with photography or even music, anything. You have your moment, the artistry moment, and then there's all of the work after. There's the editing or the and then producing, getting it out into the world. That's 3 or 4 other jobs right there besides just being the artist. So I'm very grateful.
You know
what?
You know what?
What?
I just thought of this.
What?
Someone could listen to this like 20 years from now and go, well, wow, who are those 2 people? What are they talking about? Anyway, I hope willhale.com will still be there.
Yeah. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute.
Well,
they're going to be listening, but they're going to be listening.
Well, they say,
from outer space. That's just it. When they're at the Hilton on, the left rock from this planet, that your music is timeless, and so they will be listening. So that's awesome.
Well, they say don't let your music die in you, and I feel like my music is going to die. My music in the world.
It is in the world.
But that's what I feel about my writing. My writing, I want that to be in the world the same way my music is, so I can just let it be born and be out in the world on its own.
That's right. I think I might be misquoting many, many quotes, but there's something about we all have a song in us, and not to die with them. Don't bury the song. Say the song, sing the song, play the song, put it in color, do something, but let it out. Make a joyful noise.
Sing your note.
Sing your note.
Our friend Remy.
Sing your note. Right.
Everybody has their own unique song to sing, so sing it from the rooftop.
Yay. Oh, well, we could really go on and on for sure.
Could.
Thanks again for coming, and that is willhale.com, Heartful Harmonies. Thanks again, and thank you for listening, everybody. Please be sure to like, follow, review, and share this podcast. And if you'd like to be part of the conversation, send emails to podcasts@lastingconversations.com and follow us on Facebook. This is Lasting Conversations. We get to the heart of everything.